Hi there, my name is Kronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is a film review of The Amazing Colossal Man. It's a thriller, came out in 1957, it's a PG, an hour and 20 minutes. IMDb is 4.6 out of 10. I actually only watched it on YouTube because I couldn't find it anywhere else, so I've linked the video here so you can see it as well. So I'll read the IMDb synopsis. A military officer survives a nuclear blast, only to begin to uncontrollably grow into an increasingly unstable giant. So the director is Bert I. Gordon, who directed The Food of the Gods. Producers were three of them, but the one with producer is Bert again, who produced The Big Bet. Music was by Albert Glasser, Glasser, who did the music for In This Corner. The cast, well, the main ones, we have Kathy Downs, who is Carol Forrest, who's in The Dark Corner. Glenn Langan, Langan, who is Lieutenant Colonel Glenn Manning, who is in Margie. Larry Thor, who is Major Eric Coulter, who's in 0 Hour. And William Hudson, who was Dr. Paul Lindstrom, who is in My Man Godfrey. It's filmed in Boulder City, Nevada, USA, Colorado River, Arizona, Nevada border, USA, Hoover Dam in Arizona, Nevada border, USA, and Lake Mead in Nevada, USA, and it's also known as the UK working title, US working title as The Amazing Nth Man, NTH, Manth, Nth. No wonder that never made it. The Amazing Colossal Man, The Amazing Nth Man. Don't exactly roll off your tongue, does it? So it starts with, I think, army trucks on the road. The narrator says it's 2:45 a.m. 2 hours and 15 minutes before time zero. It looks lovely and light for that time in the morning. I don't know what it's like in Arizona desert at that time in the morning at 2:45. Is it bright? I don't know. So they're actually troops off to an atomic bomb test in Nevada. Off complete tangent here. Good film to watch about this kind of stuff is The Atomic Cafe. I've watched it recently. It's on YouTube. See if you can track it down. But it's pieced together from old newsreels and stuff like this. Actual proper footage. It's not like all make-believe stuff. And it's quite interesting how they thought radiation was just, nah, don't worry about it. It's fine. And how they how they would protect themselves if an atomic bomb went off. And then there's the famous duck and cover when they went underneath their desks and stuff. It's quite interesting to watch, actually. Anyway, there you go. Now, apparently it's the first time they've ever used plutonium in a bomb. And so they have this bomb set up on this like wooden tower thing where it drops down. Which is like they're doing SANS or whatever it was called. But it never went off at time zero. It just went 10 and it got to 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And then it was just like, it hasn't gone. It's like, oh no, the bomb has to sort itself out. It's doing the nuclear reactor. When it goes down, it'll. I thought, okay. It was an interesting way they got the dose of radiation. Anyway, it's an hospital, and the nurse was sent for some more blood. So she knocks on this door, asks for a unit of blood, and walks away with it. The person behind the door didn't know if it was 0, A. There's no paperwork. She just said, "Can I have a unit of blood?" and just walked away with it. It's like, is that how it was back then? I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Poor Carol. They were going to get married that night, and now he's got 100% burns, and doctor can't give any hope to her, so she's feeling a bit, dejected. Now, although he's healed in a day that would kill others, the colonel has the answer, because they're all like going, I don't stand it. How come all the burns have gone where most people would not have them? The scar tissue and all this business. And he says, the fact that Glenn Manning survived or lived after the blast and new skin replaced the dead skin in a matter of hours leaves only one conclusion. I'm like, oh, what is it? I'm curious. What are they going to say? Something out there is beyond the limits of our knowledge. Fantastic. Awesome. Brilliant. Great. Excellent. Wonderful. So Carol had a visit from the army. She's told she's not allowed to visit him in hospital. So she reluctantly agrees later. So we go to the hospital anyway. Because, you know, if my loved one was, whoever it was in hospital and on death's door and they came to me and went, yeah, it's best if you don't come along anymore. You know, we got to isolate the poor son. You know, you can't come. Don't go and visit him tomorrow, for God's sake. Don't go to visit them. No, don't go. Okay, yeah, I won't. Right. Hello, I'm at the hospital. I want to visit. Because I would do. So you're at the hospital. You found out the receptionist says there's no one here by that name because nobody knows that person. No, cover up. And then she gets called away. Whatever her name was. Can you come into my office a minute? She goes, okay then. So you stood there. Now, do you leave? Or do you snoop around the desk to find out where the doctor is? So she ends up at this army hospital in the middle of nowhere. Nevada, I'm going to go with. It's good to see security that is so tight there. Right? Because apparently it's not in use. They said, oh, we haven't got anyone there. This army hospital's never been used since the 40s. You know, there's no one there. There's no one there. And so they let her through so she could speak to the sergeant on the desk in the actual building. Because this was the guard on the gate. And the sergeant says, so who are you after? And she's after Glenn. Says, oh, there's no one here by that name. The guard will let you out the gate. And then he just turns around and walks away. Just Carol? Nah. That's just like... And every time we see Carol, these violins and that kind of music kicks in like... Every time. Now remember, there was no CGI back then. Computers didn't exist. Oh, well, happy times. So they had to build all these tiny things, you know, like little tiny chairs and little newspapers and all that sort of stuff. It's quite fun actually to watch. It's quite awesome. Just watching the cat. What's he doing? Okay, sorry, I'm looking somewhere different because he's going to jump up onto a side that he shouldn't do, and he did last time, and it caused me hell trying to get him off it. And remember, there's no green screens back then, so there's a point where Carol meets Glenn for the first time. That was quite interesting. They obviously spliced the video or did something. I don't know how they did it, but fair play to them. They had something good. Bloody hell. So the doctors are testing on rabbits with doses of plutonium or something. It's just like normal. It just... Oh, here he is. I was hoping that the cat was going to be quiet for the rest of the morning, but that was going to go out the window, wasn't it? Glenn is reminiscing and says, you know what they wrote about me in the college yearbook? The man most likely to reach the top, as he chuckles. I'm thinking, yeah, that's actually quite funny, that. Because he keeps growing and growing. He's going to be like miles high. Let me try and get the cat over here with my fingers. No, he's not coming over, little sod. I apologise if you hear him meowing. I'm going to try and avoid him. I love how he's reading his newspapers. They picked it up and it's literally tiny. They must have printed it out so small for him to hold in his hands, because it wasn't like, you know, it was there. It was obviously it wasn't, because he looks on the back of it and there was nothing there. It was just a piece of paper. There he is. He's hungry because I've just fed him 2 minutes ago. Poor little sod. But the doctor explains stuff very well. In layman explanations. It actually feels at times I'm watching a biology lesson. It's like, well, you see, the cells grow, blah, 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 by hitting the membrane. Now, as you can see from this diagram here. And it was like that. It was like, oh, okay. There's an elephant in a cage the size of a small dog cage, because they've managed to reduce creatures. You know, because that was fine. So they could find a cure. But, you know, poor elephant. Poor little thing. I mean, obviously it wasn't there. No, he's over there now. Yeah, there you go. He's doing this meow and then he'll shut up. He'll probably go upstairs for a toilet break in a minute, even though the door's open. So the doc is briefing these army troops, colonels, or I don't know who they are, explaining that he's large, he's tall, and they all just sit there. Like, okay. Just like it's a normal thing. And I'll be like, what the hell? How big? Oh my god. Oh really? Oh Jesus. Oh, what do we do? Oh god. But they're just like, okay, yeah, I'll just write this down on my piece of paper. Now I love the call signs, right? I was chuckling at these helicopter names a bit earlier on. But we're in a Jeep. Obviously we're not really driving, you know, you can tell. And we have calling ground unit 3. This is observation King Nancy. I was like, King Nancy? Oh, cool. It was like watching a human King Kong with cowl in his hand. If you've seen the original King Kong, I don't mean the modern ones. I'm talking about the old ones, the old black and white ones. You'll know what I mean, where the woman's in King Kong's hand and it's bloody obvious she's not there. And she's like, and her legs are dangling all over the place, and you know, it's like that. But I liked it. I love the special effects for that time of the era. I'm giving it 6 out of 10 for me. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to this film review of The Amazing Colossal Man, compiled by me and Leo next to me. Oh, he's gone quiet now. Poor Leo. He's because I was in the microphone. You don't want to speak. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me your thumbs up if you liked the video. Leave a comment in the comment box below. Have you seen this film? It is an oldish film. Most people tend not to want to watch some stuff like this. But yeah, there you go. Okay, well, thank you and goodbye.